As a copywriter or a marketer, you can significantly help consultants and independent professionals grow their business. But you have to understand the key consulting offers that are available so that you don't have the problem where they basically waste all their resources on pipe dreams and passive income. I'm Justin Hitt with Ad Briefing's Copywriting Tips. Let's talk about some paid consulting offers that you might provide and how you can use these in your own business. So I just did a podcast for another newsletter, and we talked about the paid telephone consultation and the day rate. If you have a potential client come to you and maybe they're just getting started as a consultant or an insurance agent or a professional that has a subject matter expertise, they're very often going to talk about blog posts, doing a podcast, doing a webinar, maybe an email newsletter. And these are great things to get them started. But what are we offering in the podcast? What are we offering in the email newsletter? Now, you guys know I offer to answer your questions in the podcast. So I say, I cover a specific topic in the podcast, then at the end, I invite you to write with your questions. That is a lead generation mechanism that puts names on my mailing list, but also gives me context about what my audience is interested in hearing about, and that's feeding my editorial topics. So let's say you're working with a consultant and they have a subject matter expertise. You can very often take the body of their subject matter expertise. Now, we can do this through an interview, and we take that body, we transcribe the interview, we take video clips out of the interview, you have them sit at a slight 45-degree angle to the camera, and they're talking to you off camera, and you're asking them a question, and they respond by repeating the question, and now you've got the video segment as well as the transcript, and you're going to now produce 12 blog posts. See, that's how we get assignments from write some content to very specific content that's designed to position the expert as someone in their field, the go-to person, as the audience satisfier, and we do that in 12s, in 24s, in 36s, and we don't do one-offs. Now, the reason we're going to do that interview, and we're going to do it on video, and we're going to record it, and we're going to have them speak a certain way, is because now, let's say we spent 2 hours, 3 hours with them doing an interview. And by the way, it's very emotionally difficult for them to be on the other side of this. And so you have to be prepared for that. But you can also just know that somebody else could do the interview. You could hire a reporter to do the interview, and then you just turning the transcripts into special reports, blog posts, webinars, email newsletters, and so on. So I've digressed there a little bit. My point being is that if you're going to do 12 blog posts, they have to offer something. So for your consulting clients, for your expertise clients, for your insurance agents, accountants, lawyers, for those people who have a professional high-ticket service, we want to go from the blog post not to an offer. So we don't want to go from a blog post to buy my products and services. We want to do lead generation. So as Jeff Paul said back in the 90s, and it's still relevant today, the purpose of a web page is to either generate a lead or to make a sale. Now, in the direct response methodology of Dan Kennedy and Joe Sugarman and all these other folks, the lead is somebody who's going to now narrow the scope of your marketing efforts. So once you generate the lead, you can now focus your activities on those leads who have raised their hand and identify themselves as interested in a topic at least. And now you can then make your offers. So that blog post is going to have an opt-in relevant to the context, relevant to the subject matter expertise, relevant to the problem you're exploring, relevant to giving something of value to that prospect, and getting them on a list. So as a copywriter, as a marketer, you're no longer just doing content. You're building out a funnel, or you're building out some kind of campaign. So when I work with clients, we have these campaign templates and sales letter formulas. And I don't go build for them. You can ask social media. You can ask AI today to write you social media posts, but you need that long form piece of material that's topically relevant, that's structurally relevant, that addresses the buyer that understands the customer avatar in order for it to do something useful. So here's my point. You're going to write 12 blog posts, a landing page name squeeze. If we're going to do a landing page, we're doing an A-B split. So it's really 2 landing pages. Some kind of free gift, because we do know that offering a special report or a free gift is something that will get you more leads. So the journey of our visitor is they land on a blog post, they opt in, they get a special report. What is the special report? The special report is all 12 blog posts put together in one report with a very clear offer. What is that offer? That offer is then going to be to schedule an appointment, a paid consultation, or to hire somebody for a day of consulting. So it's your lawyer, it's your accountant, it's your financial planner, it's your doctor. By showing that they can hire the person for an hour. So I just did a consultation with a lawyer for $250. I had an hour of their time to ask them questions about a particular situation that I'm facing, and it was a useful call, and that they're done. They got $250 for that hour. There was minimal prep on their part, but they have already demonstrated to me that they have subject matter expertise. Now I'm going to them to answer a question. If your special report has a day rate, then it sets up the context of value for the hour rate. So you're really doing an A-B. But it could be for your insurance agent, for somebody who's selling your financial planner, somebody who's got a commission on the back end. It could be a scheduled appointment that has no cost. It could be the report is setting up the expertise and the reason to get on a call to take a specific action. Because again, you've got the name of the prospect on a list. You can always follow up with them. Now, as a copywriter or marketer, doing freelance work, and you're out there on Upwork, you're out there on Elance, you're out there on some platform, again, that's going to be all piecemeal. We don't want piecemeal. We want, again, the 12 blog posts, the 2 lead generation pages, the special report, and then ultimately the order form for the offer. Now, in the mind of your prospect, that's a lot of stuff to receive. But in the actual development of content, you're going to take a customer avatar, you're going to take a series of interview questions, you're going to interview the prospect, and then based on the transcripts, you're going to fill in the blanks for 12 articles, because you're going to have 1 article a month. Because again, they're going to opt in. Somebody's going to land on 1 article, they're going to opt in, and then they're going to get all confused and probably never read the special report. So the email series on the opt-in has summaries of the original blog posts, each referencing the blog post and linking back to the special report. So that blog post that had 15 ways to save money on your commercial auto insurance, and then at the end it says special report for additional ways to save money on your commercial auto insurance. The email series is going to say, hey, by the way, did you download the report with all the ways to save money on your commercial car insurance? But here's 2 quick tips to get you started. Now you can even PS the email series to schedule an appointment or to take that next step. The key is you've now got the person to follow up. As a consultant, as a marketer, as somebody who's developing this campaign, what I just described here is a template. So let's say somebody says, hey, I got plenty of blog posts. I don't need a blog post. What I need is more podcasts. So now instead of 12 blog posts you write scripts for 12 podcasts. But the funnel's the same. So here's the upsell strategy. Customer approaches you and says, I'd like to have content from my website. Great. What would you like this content to do? If they say expose your impressions or organic traffic, then you transition them into, well, wouldn't it be nice if this content did those things, but also generated leads for a specific offer? Tell me about the offers that you have. Okay? They're going to tell you about the offers that they have. And now you say, well, you know what? We have this approach where rather than just doing something one-off and it not really being easy to measure, You'll just go out to the marketplace and hire another copywriter, and you'll constantly be creating content, and you won't be creating leads and sales. I've got an approach for creating leads and sales, and it's called a marketing campaign or a marketing funnel or whatever you call it. And here's how it works. We'll create your content, but that content is specifically designed to position you as an expert in your marketplace and deliver for them a book or a report. Now, that book or report sells what you do, positions you as an expert. Do you have such a thing in your business already? And they might say, yeah, I got a book. Great. You can do a rewrite on the book. You can help them with the book getting better traction. There's opportunities there. But they're likely going to say, well, no, I don't have a special report. And you say, well, we offer a unique approach to building sales funnels. And the key about this is it's measurable, it's repeatable, and it's an asset for your business. So rather than creating new content next week, rather than creating new content next year, we can help you get more from the content you have. So those 12 articles can come from their existing content, and now you're doing this package for them, or they could be fresh new articles. But the key is you're going to interview the individual to get all the information. Now you guys are saying, I know, I interview the individuals anyway. The difference is when you interview them, the structure is designed to create artifacts associated with the product or services that they're offering. There's a little bit of coaching element there. When you write all this up, it looks like a lot of stuff. So if you are offering this for $20,000 or $15,000 or even $80,000, depending on the value of the opportunity for the person you're working with, they're going to say, holy smoke, this is crazy value. Okay? Now you're going to demonstrate that they can generate enough customers. You're going to do a little research because they need to generate enough customers to pay you $80,000 but make $800,000 or make $100,000 or make $100,000 this year and then another $100,000 next year. Instead of going back to the copywriter pool, they've hired somebody who knows how to solve problems, and you created a system for solving problems that they can just keep feeding for the rest of their business life. Now, here's the thing. Let's say you quoted $80,000 for this project. Because you're writing 12 blog posts or 12 scripts for a podcast. You're creating residual artifacts that they can use in their business today or in the future. They can recycle them. You're creating 2 lead generation pages that drive to a specific offer for a special report that you created or a rewrite of their book that you put together. And then ultimately you've structured all that. Now my team can help you with the technical structuring, because a lot of copywriters and marketers don't know about the analytics setups and the other things. But again, you're backfilling that with my services. That's great. Or somebody else's services. The key is it's a complete package. And now they say, well, I can't afford $80,000. Now, 2 things have happened here. First off, you haven't expressed the value that they're going to get. Second is you're working with somebody who doesn't have money to spend. But let's assume they got money to spend and they still say, oh, $80,000 is a lot of money. You can say, well, look, we don't have to do this all at once, but I want to make sure that you have a plan that plugs into revenue generation in your business, and you can typically self-finance this with the new customers you gain. Now, you have to be real careful with that particular conversation because you're getting paid up front. You're going to get half that money up front because there's a lot of things that can go wrong on their side that would cause them not to get customers. And this is not a joint venture. If it was a joint venture, you'd get the $80,000 up front plus a percentage of the gross. My point being is that they can make payments on the service. You can use a finance company to do this. They can make payments on that $80,000, or you can break it down into phases where you get a contractual commitment to do the work, and now you've just filled 3 months or 6 months of your work. So I know a lot of freelance copywriters are chasing new jobs. I know a lot of freelance marketers are trying to find that next piece of work. They're mostly unemployed, but they're a copywriter. It's so easy to put copywriter shingle up or put a marketing consultant shingle up. But essentially, if you're not getting paid, you're not actually that thing. You're just struggling. So how do we avoid the struggle? Well, we build solutions for our clients. And we help them with ideas and concepts that will get them paid. And then as they get paid, it reinforces the value of what you've done. So They may already have some form of campaign and you're going to enhance it. They may not have any structure or campaign. You're going to build it. But in the long run, you're getting a 3-week assignment. You're getting a month-long assignment. You're getting a year-long assignment. And then you add 2 or 3 of these to your consulting business and you now have an agency. Now, you might be saying, well, Justin, I only write copy. Well, I tried to give you an example that the analytics part, the technical implementation, the making sure things get uploaded correctly, you can hire a white label company like my own, my agency, to go do those things for you. If it's in WordPress, if it's using certain tools, if it's in Shopify, my team does that every day, all day long. And because I'm a publisher, they're doing that. You wouldn't go hire these people as a consultant or as a copywriter because you're focusing on copy. But you might, when it comes to a larger assignment, take the transcriptions and have you're not going to transcribe the video yourself. You're going to have a company transcribe the video. You're going to have somebody who is a researcher go research the customer avatar. You're going to have some copywriters knock out 12 or 24 articles from your transcriptions. You're going to have a video editor do something, and now you've positioned yourself, rather than just being a freelance copywriter, rather than being a commodity in the marketplace, you're now facilitating marketing campaigns, and you're the expert getting that structure together. Now, what makes this valuable to your end user is that if they had to go out and hire 5 or 6 different vendors in order to get their marketing campaign, they will just blow their brains out because, again, they're in the business of doing the professional service. They're in the lawyer business. They're in the insurance business. They're in the dental business. They're in the doctor business. And they get paid for serving their patients, not building marketing campaigns. Now, in their mind, they don't understand that the marketing of the service is more valuable than the actual doing of the service, because once you have a system in place, and that's what you're developing for them, a system in place, they can then scale. So let's say they have a marketing system. This is 12 blog posts, an A/B split on a lead generation page. It's a special report that positions them as an expert. It's an offer that's financially profitable for them, that very often leads to a high customer lifetime value, an offer that very often leads to a patient, a client who pays, stays, and refers. That system they can use over and over again. And the only thing you need to do the next year, if they want to, which you're going to follow up and you're going to encourage them to do so, is 12 more blog posts, or turning the blog post into podcast scripts and then helping them record the podcast, and then turning the best podcast into a webinar where people can come on and ask them. Maybe they're a cosmetic surgeon and people can come on and ask questions about cosmetic surgery and then see before and after pictures of clients and see case studies and other things. And then all of that put together, you extract the key elements to create an email newsletter, whether it's a prospect newsletter, whether it's an email series for a particular product. Can you see how this is regular work? Now, I know you might be afraid that you can't perform. I'll just tell you right up front. A lot of folks who come to ad briefings want to improve their copy skills. What I'm saying is that the copy skills themselves are not what creates high ticket and profitable engagements. If copywriting skills by themselves created these engagements, then you would be at like 99% engaged. You'd have like a 99% billable. That means for every hour that you're working in the business of copywriting, that it would be billable. And that just doesn't happen. And it doesn't happen because the cost to get out your message is literally $80,000, $100,000. So what I described, you can build for yourself to show you that you can do it, which is 12 blog posts, an A/B split on a lead generation page, some kind of special report with an offer, and then, of course, the actual order form. You can do that for yourself to solve the confidence issue on whether or not you could do that for a client. And you can do it without hiring other people. That's fine. But when you do it for a client, you're going to want to do it fast. You're going to want to do it consistent. You want to be able to do 5 or 10 of these at a time. And that's why we're building the marketing agency. Again, agency as in personal time freedom, lifestyle, and the ability to have passive income. Because when you're doing this campaign, not only are you building a cookie cutter assignment, and all you got to do is, like Gary Halbert talked about, is find the hungry audience and take the same speech to a different audience. What we're doing here, though, is we're building a business. So yes, you could be a freelancer and you could one-off and write these, there's always an opportunity for freelancers, but it's commodity. So you could write a blog post for somebody for $90, for $50. But there's going to be somebody who comes along and it does the same blog post for $10. Now, it doesn't matter if the blog post is good or bad. There's people who buy these $10 blog posts. But how many blog posts do you need to write in order to get $80,000? It could take you the whole damn year to write these blog posts or these press releases or these podcast scripts or these webinar outlines or these email newsletter editions. It could take you a whole damn year to get to $80,000 US dollars. But for $20,000, you can write a campaign. For $10,000, you can write a series, rewrite a series. And there are customers who will pay that. Now, they may pay the $10,000 over 12 months. They may pay it over 5 months. And then that allows you to start building up a catalog of clients so that you have more consistent work. So you're going to get to about 60 to 80% efficiency of billable hours. So if you spend 40 hours a week, 80% of that will be actual billable hours. Now, we want to get away from trading dollars for hours. But if you're not getting any dollars, I know you got hours. So again, what we're describing here is perfect for you to offer to a subject matter expert, a consultant, an accountant, a CPA or financial planner, a doctor, lawyer, anybody who has a high ticket transaction. It will help them. It is adaptable, so you can adjust it for what they currently have. You don't have to start from scratch. So they might say that, well, $50,000 for a marketing campaign sounds reasonable. I'll be making the money back in a year or two, but I just don't have $50,000 to get started today. Well, that could become $20,000. How much money do you have? And they say $20,000. You could say, well, for $20,000, we're going to audit your website, and then we're going to take content you already have, enhance it, rewrite it, structure it the right way so that you'll have a profitable marketing campaign. And because we're not writing it from scratch, then we could make some adjustments on how much you need to pay out today. We still recommend the $80,000 program, but again, we can get you started with what you've got. And then as you see the results, you'll come back as a loyal client, you'll hire our agency for additional work, and we can have a long-term beneficial relationship. Do you see how this works? So if you're a freelance copywriter or a freelance marketer and you're doing digital marketing, you're doing content marketing, you're doing direct response campaigns, well, the campaigns is the key. You need to offer a package. Now, because you're offering a package, you're going to look for a little bit different type of customer. It's not going to be the fly-by-night, small business customer. Now, you can practice there. There's nothing wrong with practicing there. You don't have to take down your Upwork listing or anything, but you do need to understand that you'll have to go direct to people who you've identified are qualified. And I've covered a bunch of different markets. I hope you're specializing in a specific market. But again, do you understand what we're talking about here? Does it make sense to you that they need the whole campaign, and it's probably a disservice just to do the email or just to write the blog post or just to write a piece of that campaign? There's value in the audit. There's value in the enhancement. There's value in the design. There's value in the way you collect the information to produce the assignment. There's no arguing that if you can produce for a company $1 million, they're willing to invest $80,000. Now, for some of you guys in India and Philippines and Brazil and overseas, I want to talk with you specifically about the confidence. If you can build one of these campaigns for yourself, let's say it's 12 emails, and you're going to send them out cold. It's okay if you do that. It's short emails sent out cold. They're going to a landing page that opts in somebody for a special report or a presentation, and then ultimately your offer is a paid consultation. Build that first for yourself. And of course, if you're a member of Ad Briefings, we can go over that and do a critique, and I can help you with that. The key is build that for yourself to have the confidence. If you don't feel like you can build that, it's okay for you to take on the assignment, but you need to partner with a marketing agency who's building full campaigns. Because again, with AI today, it's easy to write an email. With a lot of the writing tools, it's very easy to write some kind of content. Now, the customer doesn't know whether the content's good or bad, and they're wasting a lot of time and effort. But again, they're not paying $10 for articles anymore because in 2 minutes I can get 5 articles from an AI platform. And they're going to be okay. But I have the knowledge and expertise to make them great. I also have the knowledge and expertise not to have the article produced by the AI, but to have other things produced by the AI, which we talk about other places. So if you're in India, Philippines, Brazil, UAE, Ukraine, other places out there where you don't really need to earn a lot of dollars, I'm still encouraging you to raise your rate, but to take this different approach to build campaigns, starting by building a campaign for yourself, or to come together with a few people in a collective to start an agency in order to then go for larger paid assignments. Now, for the folks in Canada, England, UK, United States, Australia, you just heard what your competition is going to be doing is going to make your life difficult. So the value add is even more important. And so if you're not structuring these campaigns and selling these packages, then you're going to be hurting because it's very easy for someone else to do it. Now, we don't want to tell the client how easy it is to structure this because there's certain expertise that makes it easy to you. They don't have this expertise. If they did, they just do marketing campaigns. There are certain experiences and knowledge and understanding how to write copy that made this easy for you. It is daunting for your clients to do this, and that's why they're willing to pay 5 figures and better. The key is finding those clients who are willing to pay or have the money to pay 5 figures or better. And so your advantage in United States, Canada, Australia, UK, other English-speaking countries is to either bring together these offshore folks onto your team and sift and sort and get the best ones out of there as an agency, rather than going out on your own, because it's going to be one against many if you go out on your own. And yes, you can still get the critiques and the rewrites and stuff like that, but you have to take an approach of managing the content and the services and the creation so that it is done consistently and well structured, and then market the value of the copywriting services than it is for you just to be a copywriter. Gone are the days where you can hang up your freelance shingle and be a copywriter. There isn't a known copywriter today that is just writing copy. They're building campaigns. So what we covered today, I hope this is helpful. It is a complete marketing plan. And if you'd like to explore this one-on-one as far as the implementation is concerned inside your organization, more on the business of copywriting side, then visit us at www.adbriefings.co.uk. Go to the contact page and ask specifically for that kind of help. We are available whether we're going to backfill your technical side, because again, I got a publishing company with webmasters and analytics folks and a lot of these other technical folks, or you're going to ask about how you can build your own team when it comes to writing the copy, or the systematic approach for getting clients at this level. This is how you transform your freelance copywriting into a small agency. Even if that agency is simply you and a virtual assistant and some contractors that come on and off, or tools. Your transcription stuff can be done by tools these days. You don't have to hire a transcriptionist. You can just feed the video to a tool that gives you a transcript, and then you edit it. Anyway, I'm Justin Hitt with Ad Briefings Copywriting Tips, and I want to make sure that you're earning good money in this area, because as the economy gets worse, marketing and copying is going to be what transforms businesses, what makes some businesses survive and other businesses fail. And if we're not helping them do the things that create customers, then they are going to fail, and it's going to be hard on everybody. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next podcast.